The phone rang at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. It was him. "Hey, babe, I won't be able to see you for a few months," he said, his voice strained and tired. My stomach twisted. We had been together for 5 years. 5 years of late-night conversations, shared dreams, and whispered promises. But this call felt different. "My mom is really sick," he continued. "I need to go back to my hometown to take care of her." I felt my heart sink, not with anger, but with empathy. His mother was everything to him. I had heard stories about her health struggles before, but this sounded serious. "Of course," I said immediately, without hesitation. "Take care of her. I understand completely." There was a pause. "I might not be able to call or text for about a week," he added. "I just need to focus on her. Full focus, you know." "I know," I said softly. "Family comes first. Always. Tell her I'm praying for her. Tell her to get better soon." We said our goodbyes. I hung up the phone feeling a strange mixture of sadness and admiration for him. He was putting his family first. That's what good men do, right? The first few days were quiet without him. I went to work, came home, had dinner with my parents and 4 siblings. Our house was always chaotic, always loud, always full of life and noise and people talking over each other. My mother would be shouting instructions from the kitchen. My father would be reading the news out loud. My siblings would be arguing about who left the dishes in the sink. For years, I had dreamed of peace and quiet. Now I had it, and it felt suffocating. I missed his voice. I missed the way he'd call me silly pet names. I missed the stupid jokes that made no sense but somehow made me laugh anyway. I missed him. But I also knew this was necessary. His mother needed him. And if loving someone means letting them go when they need to be elsewhere, then that's what I would do. 3 days passed. Then 4. On the 5th day, I had a thought. He had given me a spare key to his apartment months ago. "Just in case," he had said with a smile. I had never used it. It felt like crossing a boundary, even though he had explicitly given me permission. But now, the thought of being in a space that was just him, surrounded by his things, his smell, his energy, it suddenly seemed like the comfort I desperately needed. I could go there, maybe clean up a little, make sure everything was okay. It would be my little escape from the noise at home. Just a few hours of solitude in a place that reminded me of him. I decided to call him and let him know. The phone rang. No answer. I tried again. Nothing. Right. He had warned me about this. No calls or texts for a week. Full focus on his mother. I understood, so I didn't overthink it. I just grabbed the key from where I kept it, told my mom I was going out, and drove to his apartment. The building was quiet when I arrived. I climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor, my heart feeling a little lighter already. Soon I would be surrounded by his presence. Soon I would feel close to him again. I slid the key into the lock, turned it, stepped inside, and my entire world froze. A pair of bright red heels sat by the entrance. My heels were black, always black. I had never owned anything in bright red. They weren't mine. My heart began to race. I stepped further into the apartment, my fingers gripping my phone so tightly I thought the screen would crack. The living room was dimly lit, and draped over the couch where we had watched so many movies together, was a woman's coat. A coat I had never seen before. A coat that smelled like perfume. Expensive perfume. A smell that wasn't me. My breathing became shallow. From the bedroom I heard it. A soft hum. A woman's voice singing under her breath. "No, no, no, no." My body moved on its own, like it was being pulled by invisible strings. My feet carried me toward the bedroom door, even though every nerve in my body was screaming at me to turn around and leave. To unsee what I was about to see. To preserve the illusion of the man I thought I knew. But I couldn't stop. I pushed the bedroom door open. Time seemed to slow down. There she was, a woman, draped in nothing but his sheets, his white sheets, the sheets we had picked out together, the sheets that still carried the ghost of our memories. And next to her, him, shirtless, frozen, his face transforming in real time from passion to shock to panic. Our eyes met, and in that single moment, everything I believed in shattered. You're supposed to be with your mom," I whispered. My voice wasn't loud. It wasn't angry. It was broken, shattered, like glass cutting through the silence. He scrambled for words, his mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. The woman pulled the sheets tighter around her body, her eyes darting between us like she was watching a tennis match that was destroying her own life too.
Before we continue, we would like to thank all of you who support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing our content. The only appreciation we ask of you is that you subscribe, like, and share this video if you are not yet one of our subscribers. Thank you. 5 years. That's what kept running through my head. 5 years of waking up next to him. 5 years of inside jokes and stolen kisses. 5 years of planning a future that apparently meant nothing to him.
5 years of believing in someone with my whole heart, only to have them rip it out and stomp on it. "I can explain," he finally said. His voice sounded distant, like it was coming from underwater. "Explain? How do you explain a betrayal this deep? How do you explain looking your partner in the eyes and lying about where you're going to be? How do you explain inviting someone else into the bed you share with the person you claim to love?" I didn't wait for his explanation. I turned and walked out. My legs felt like they didn't belong to me. My vision blurred. I walked down the stairs and into the parking lot, my phone buzzing frantically in my pocket as his calls started coming through. Call after call after call. I got in my car and I drove. I drove past our favorite coffee shop. I drove past the park where he had first told me he loved me. I drove past all the places that suddenly felt like they belonged to a different person. A different version of me who trusted too easily, who loved too blindly. I drove until I found myself parked on a quiet street, watching the sunset through my windshield. And then I cried. I cried so hard that my whole body shook. I cried like I was trying to purge the pain from my soul. I cried for the future that would never happen. I cried for the trust that had been broken. I cried for the woman I thought I was going to be, standing next to him, building a life together. I cried until there were no tears left. I looked at the dark sky and realized the silence I had craved was now the loudest sound in my life, the sound of everything falling apart.